Now, we're going to have a look ahead to Ebor Week now, and Mark has picked out 6 horses that we should keep an eye on. Bright Strike, Fire Eyes, Caruman, Catcher, Newfangled, and Sir John Hawkwood as well. Mark, 6 for Ebor Week, and he'll explain why right now.
Right, Mark Howard has come up with 6 horses to follow for Ebor Week, and quite appropriate that we're following on from David Brown's interview. Fire Eyes, horse he mentioned there and mentioned in fairly glowing terms, is the first of them, Mark.
I've picked him out. I've picked 6 horses that I'm looking forward to seeing this week. Hopefully they'll be good enough to acquit themselves well, but as you've mentioned, he made a really striking impression here, made his debut in what looked a warm maiden first time out. He was quite a big price. I think he was a 14-1 shot. His far side in the Qatar Racing colours. He blasted out at the gates. Harry Bentley rode him on this occasion, and he kept up a fairly relentless gallop, won by 2 1/4 lengths. The second, Avec Rose, ran well the other day at Beverley, who finished second again since, but the fourth has gone on to win a Valence Swimbanks. He just looks an ideal type for York, where that speedy track. Hopefully the ground will be on the quick side for him, because he's got a speedy pedigree. He's by Exceed and Excel, and he's out of that really good filly that James Given trade, Wonder's Dream, who won a Flying Childers and a Molecombe. So it is a fast ground pedigree. There is forecast rain at the end of the week, but hopefully the ground will be quick.
Yeah, I love him. I loved him when he was here. The biggest mystery was how he started at 14-1 first time out.
Well, I think the only surprise to David Brown was he didn't break the course record from what he said afterwards. So looking forward to see how he gets on. Cosmic Chat will be in opposition of David Barnes, I suspect, but I think he'll take a good one to beat him.
Yeah, that's number 1 of Mark 6, and Bright Spark is at the second.
I've picked him out. Yeah, he's entered in the Convivial in the 7 furlong maiden at York this week, trained by John Gosden, called by Smart Strike. He's in the George Strawbridge colours towards this near side. Finishes 3rd in the end. He's only beaten a length. Godolphin dominate the finish. They have the 1st and 2nd home. The 2nd's won since. The 4th of Peter Chapel Hyams in the white and green colours has won since, and the 6th Claim of Sir Michael Stouts has won since. So that was a good start to his career. He's got the experience behind him. He's got the big entries. He's in the Champagne, he's in the Royal Lodge, he's in the Dewhurst. If he's going to have to justify those engagements, he's got to go and win at the end of the week. But I thought it was a good start to his career.
That was a really striking start, I thought. He wasn't knocked about, he was educated, he wasn't abused or knocked about. Sure, you'd imagine to come on from that.
Yeah, you would hope so. He's from a good family that John Gosden knows well. He's related to Gathering, he's related to CeeLo. Apparently Jeremy Nasida's got a promising type against him on racehorse called Chief Havoc, but provided he builds on his first run, he should run really well.
Yeah, that's number 2. Then Caruman is number 3, and he a promising sort from the William Haggis yard.
Trained by William Haggis. He's probably one of the most competitive handicaps of the week. He's in the mile race that used to be the Bradford and Bingley. This is pattern form at Sandown when he finishes in the Heron Stakes. He's beaten by Cogito of Brian Meeham's. He's beaten by Stipulate as well. But considering his lack of experience, I think this was only his 3rd run. I thought it was a really good race. He's down to a handicap later in the week on Thursday at York. He's a 3-year-old, so he gets a 3-year-old allowance. It's a race that William won a few years ago with Roaring 40. I just like the fact he gets such a healthy 3-year-old allowance. He's only had 4 runs in his life. Paul Hannigan will ride him. Fingers crossed he won't be drawn about 20 of 20. He's stuck out wide on that mile track at York, but if he gets a good draw, I think he's an interesting contender.
Yeah, also interesting is the next horse down, Kamchatka, who, if you remember Fire Eyes winning here, Kamchatka was well fancied and indeed ran very well in that same race, and since then this is what he did at Pontefract.
He did, yeah. He built on his initial promise. He finished 4th, as you say, at Thirsk. He'd had the run under his belt. He was good this day at Pontefract. He beats one of Mark Johnson's that ran well at Ponty again yesterday. He finished 2nd. I think he wins by 4.5 lengths in the end. He's in the nursery on Friday over 6 furlongs. He's rated 78. I can't believe he's a 78 rated horse. He looked more like a 90 rated horse to me, but the chances are there could be about another 5 on a similar sort of rating. Richard Fahey's got one. He's got Majestic Moon. I can't believe he's a 79 rated horse, so it might be a case of who's the better handicap, but off 78 I just think he's well treated.
Interesting horse, Kamchatka, trained by Alan Swinbank for Sean Woods, the former Newmarket trainer, now firmly based in Hong Kong, and you'd imagine that the idea would be that this horse one day or other would end up out there.
I think there's every chance yet that could well happen, but at the moment of that sort of rating, hopefully they'll take advantage. He's by Saki's Secret. Quick ground should suit him as well, so hopefully he'll get his conditions. Robert, I think you interviewed Robert afterwards, Robert Winston, and he got the impression he liked the horse an awful lot. So we'll have to see. As I say, might be bumping into another 6 who are equally well handicapped, but I think he should run well.
Yeah, I remember interviewing William Buick after Royal Ascot, and he likes Newfangled a lot. No surprise, she was a wide margin winner of the Albany Stakes there, 2 from 2 so far, and she's York bound as well.
She's York bound, yeah. She's the most boring selection of the lot, really. She'll be a short price. You're suspecting the Lowther Stakes, but you'd have to be taken with her performances. She wins here on the debut on the July Cross at Newmarket. She backed it up with an even more impressive performance at Royal Ascot, where she was keen early. She tanked through the race, but she still won decisively by 2.5 lengths. And the way she races, I would have thought York would suit her even more than Royal Ascot.
Yeah, she's a very, very exciting filly, and if she passes this test, you could just see her, developing, if she stays, of course, into a Guineas filly for next year.
You would, yeah. You're hoping she'll settle down and she'll get the mile. You'd respect Pearl C of David Brown's. We just heard from David there. He clearly rates her highly, and I think she will provide stiff opposition, but at the moment, Newfangled sets a standard.
Yeah, and the last of Mark's 6 is a horse called Sir John Hawkwood, who's had just 3 runs. I think he's won 2 of them, trained by Sir Michael Stout. He runs in the closing handicap on the opening day on Wednesday.
I've chosen him, yet he runs in, as you say, in a 10 furlong handicap. To me, he looks a group horse in the making. Didn't get the clearest of passages here, but once he does see daylight, he quickens up well. Got bogged down in really testing conditions at the July meeting. Made amends here. He's only put up £6 for this performance, which I thought was very fair to say the least. Gets a 3-year-old Alliance on Wednesday. I don't know what he's drawn, so hopefully he's got a decent draw, but I think he's Michael Stout, so Michael Stout's only runner on Wednesday. I suspect he'll be favourite, and I think he'll be tough to beat.
Has he got the sort of pedigree, Mark, that suggests that over time as well there is improvement to come and that type of scope?
Yeah, there is. He's related to Greek Renaissance, who was a good horse. He was related to Machinist as well. He's drawn 14 here, which isn't exactly great, but
say 64 that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so hopefully he can overcome it, and that is a really good race for Sir Michael Stout. He's won it 3 times in the last 9 years, so hopefully he'll overcome that draw and win.
To be fair, I'm jesting about the A64, but they will come down, you'd imagine, down the centre. They have done for every race, every day, every meeting for the last 2 years. They will come down there. So the draw's not quite as sort of dominant as it maybe would otherwise be.
No, it's not quite as important, but I think for the mile race, we mentioned Caraman of Haggas's.
Yeah.
He wouldn't want to be drawn 20 of 20, but hopefully Sir John Hawkwood will overcome it. It's all about potential. He's only had 3 runs, and again, I'll be amazed if he's only a 98 rated horse.
So there's 6 for the week: Bright Strike, Fire Eyes, Caraman, Kamchatka, Newfangled, the unbeaten Newfangled, and Sir John Hawkwood, who runs on a Wednesday in the concluding handicap, and Sir Michael Stout's only runner on the opening day of York's Ebor Festival.